Welcome back. Slicey23 here, back again with some knife therapy. And before I get started, I'd like to say thanks to Bestech. They sent this knife in for review. And the knife you have in front of you is the Bestech Pebble. This guy comes in right around $88 at Blade HQ. And this is going to fall in your sub 3-inch category. So this knife will be legal in a lot more areas that have blade restrictions. And that's nice to see that they take care of those parts of the market. So let's dive into it real quick. Well, while we're talking about size, let's get a quick size real. You have just shy of 3 inches of cutting edge. You have 7 1/4 overall length, and your grip area is a little bit over 3.5 inches. Your handle thickness is 0.48, so just shy of a 1/2 inch. And in this direction, which is nice and slim, 1.040. So that's nice and sleek. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's get into this very attractive blade. No frills here. You got a nice, beautiful stone wash. You have the Bestech logo on one side, the model name, which is the Pebble, and the blade steel designation VG10. If you look up top right here, they beveled this up here so you don't have any sharp edges. That's very nice to see that they took the time to do that. You can look down here. They added a sharpening choil, and you can see the plunge line goes down right there. So they've done a good job of keeping it past the plunge line. And they do have a little flare right there, but it'll probably be taken care of after the first sharpening. All right. Also, you got some jimping up here, but as you can see, it sits flush with the liners. So unless you're really bearing down on there, it's not really adding any traction. So let's close this guy up. Your flipper tab has jimping up there, and it's beveled on the side, so nothing sharp. Just perfect in my eyes. The pivot is sitting kind of directly across from, the flipper's sitting a little bit behind the flipper tab, but Bestech does a great job of setting their detents. And this knife is primarily made for the light switch method. Don't have to think whatsoever. It's riding on ceramic detent, ceramic ball bearings, so it has a really nice snappy action. You can push button it, but as you can see, it comes to a point right there, so it's not the most comfortable. And I've noticed the light switch method fires out a little bit harder in my eyes. So I like to not have to think whenever I go to flip a knife, and they executed that perfectly. And not to mention, I don't think that flipper tab is that obtrusive, so good job, Bestech. Let's get on to the handle scales. As you can see, this blade sits completely into the handle scales, leaving it nice and flush. I like that look. You have green G10 scales with a nicely done black inlaid G10, and absolutely you cannot feel that transition whatsoever. Close my eyes right now. I couldn't tell you where it starts and finishes. Excellent job on that. Very, very, very minimal construction. You have the Bestech branded logo pivot and just one body screw. That's really cool to see. As you can see, it's a flow-through design. You have a barrel spacer right there, and that's it. While we have it up in this area, you can see that they milled out holes into the stainless liners to lighten up the knife. Also like to see that they inset those liners so the liners aren't sticking out. That's just something extra that you see when you get up there in the I can't get the word out, but just something nicer. You see in nicer knives. Something that I noticed they did absolutely perfect, and I'm always going to talk about it when a company does something right. And as you can see, you have this milled area to get to the lock bar, and you see how they milled that relief right there. And at first, when I looked at this, I was like, oh man, that's going to be nice and sharp, and it's going to hurt my finger. But you have this nice deep recess right there, so I can get my thumb in there very, very easily. And it's a pleasure to disengage this lock bar. So home run there. They did an excellent job. We'll get into the contouring of this. They milled some areas right here, so pretty much you got a 3D contour. Makes it fairly comfortable in hand. You just have this generic broomstick style handle, so you know it's not the God's gift to ergonomics, but it's just fine in my hands. In this grip right here, it's nice, and I'll tell you, at first, when I first grabbed this, I didn't think it was going to be that comfortable in hand, but once I actually started using it, cutting up stuff, I found that it was really comfortable. I had no hot spots in this area. Didn't feel the clip. It was nice. In this area, in this grip right here, you somewhat feel that clip, and in this crazy grip that I'll never use, it's okay. And one grip that I like to use a lot, this grip, I can get some control and get to the end of that tip very, very easily. Let's see, talked about the flow-through construction. You have a deep carry clip, and it's right-hand tip up only, so sorry about that, lefties. I don't make them. I wish they could have recessed those screws, but you do have a high enough kick up right here that it doesn't catch on the pocket. Let's show what it looks like in your two different kinds of pockets. You got your flat pocket right here, and I wouldn't have to lift up this clip, but this is flimsy, so there you go. It sits nice and deep. There you go. And in your slanted pockets like that, sits really deep. So nicely done. I like to see that. And you do have a decent bit of ramp right there, not too high to where it's going to cause hot spots. So we talked about the ergos. And let's get into some size comparisons and who this knife is competing for, because we know that, you know, right around this price range and this steel, you got tons of knives in this category. So let's see some of their direct competitors. First off, you got the Kaiser Vanguard series. This is the Gemini. These two are close, almost identical in size. You might have a little bit more blade in the Gemini, but VG10, the same thing. Only thing different here is you don't have those inset liners. You got them sitting outside. So I don't know. That's not the biggest deal in the world, but these two are about the same price. Also, another one from Kaiser, the Bad Dog, the Matt Cucchiara design. Bad Dog is a little bit smaller, but same materials as well. Another one that is in VG10 in its stock form that it's competing with in about the same price is your Spyderco Delica. This one's mine in half 40, but just imagine this is the VG10. These two are really close in size. The Delica is just a little bit smaller. My dogs are probably going to start going crazy in a little while because they always do that when I'm doing a video. And lastly, you got the Bokor Bullpup. You got the same blade steel. This one's a good bit bigger, but you have titanium there. So these two are, I think those are identical in size as well. So there you go. Let's get a quick size on this guy, and I'll talk about a few things that I would like to see changed, and I'll let y'all go. This guy's coming in at 3.66 ounces. To me, that's perfect because this knife could be considered, you know, my main carry, even though I probably would have another knife on me, but I could carry this alone and be fine with it. Let's see. Let's talk about a few of the things that I would like to see change. And like I said, as far as the price, it's definitely competing with all those other companies. You know, the quality's there, the looks are there, you know, it's all there. So one thing that I noticed right here, and this is just plagued from whenever you have inset liners and a liner lock, the G10 right here is kind of thin, and depending on how I'm holding it, I feel it, but most of the time when I'm putting a lot of pressure, my finger is kind of riding above that, and I don't feel it at all. So that's just something to point out. I don't know if that's something that bothers people or not, but I did notice it, and I did want to talk about it. Another thing that I noticed is the pocket clip. That I don't like those holes. They make it look kind of cheap. I would rather just see it, you know, plain, or just that right there. I don't like those holes. I've seen them on a lot of gas station knives, And like I said before, I wish they would have recessed those screws. But at the same token, the clip does go up high enough to where it's not really an issue. But other than that, and I talked about this on another Bestech, I kind of wish they would change that font. It just looks a little strange, or just not even put it there, or put it on the spine of the knife. But that's just a nitpick. I had to really try. So this is your Bestech Pebble. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. Let me know what you think about the Bestech Pebble. If you have one, let me know what you think about it. And let me know if yours came hair splitting sharp. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button if you're not already. You don't want to miss a thing. I have giveaways. I have videos pretty much at least one a week, if not more. I've been having more depending on how I'm feeling, how I'm doing. I try to get you out as many videos as possible. So I hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.